Welcome back to Church Road Trips. And as you can see, we're right here by the railroad tracks, but we're totally safe as this line is closed. But what you're looking at is a train, a couple of cars here in Monterey, Tennessee. And that's where our story comes from today. And you will find, as I have, that Monterey has no shortage of churches. Also, they have no shortage of things to do. And I want to point out all those things to you today here on Church Road Trips. Stay with me. Monterey, Tennessee. Perched at an elevation of 1,900 feet, it's one of the highest points on the western side of the Cumberland Plateau. A place where the air is clear and the stories run deep. Long before Monterey was a town, travelers passed through this ridge following a landmark called the Standing Stone. It was a large stone guidepost or boundary marker used by Native Americans. The town had always been called Standing Stone, Tennessee because of this. Well, later came the railroad, and when railroad workers blew up the Standing Stone in 1893, the town became a train town and a coal town, and eventually a crossroads town, shaped by the people who worked and worshiped and raised families here. The town was renamed Monterey, which means Mountain of the King. King meaning King Coal, since coal was the lifeblood of the town's economy. Today, the Monterey Depot Museum stands as a keeper of these old stories. Inside, a local historian will walk you through everything from early Native history to the railroad era to the coal mines that once fueled the region. It's the perfect first stop for anyone wanting to understand why this little town matters. For a town of just a few thousand people, Monterey has an extraordinary number of churches, each with its own history, its own congregation, and its own place in the life of the community. You'll find Baptist churches, Free Will Baptist churches, Church of the Nazarene, a Wesleyan church, an Apostolic church, a Missionary Baptist, and more. Now, I'm not focusing on any one church today, but I want you to see them because they tell a story. There's a story here of faith that's woven into the daily life of this little town. It's a story of people who gather and pray and sing and serve together. In Monterey, the church isn't just a building, it's part of the landscape. It's just as much a part of the landscape as the hills or the outcroppings of rock or the railroad that first brought life to this place. Travelers passing through on I-40 often don't realize what they're missing. Just a few minutes off the interstate, you'll find scenic overlooks like Bee Rock, a peaceful setting at Meadow Creek Park, and a downtown filled with small-town charm. So whether you're into hiking or history or just stretching your legs in a place that feels honest and unhurried, Monterey is definitely worth the stop. So why should travelers visit Monterey? Because it's real. It's rooted in its own history. It's a reminder that America's best stories aren't always found in big cities. They're found in places like this, where history is preserved, where mountains rise up all around you, and where faith is still alive and shapes the rhythm of life. And listen, wherever you live, whether it's here in Tennessee or on the other side of the world, I hope you'll find a church home of your own. A place to belong, a place to grow, a place where your story becomes part of something bigger. Because towns like Monterey remind us of a simple truth. Faith and community are still worth building a life around. And as the Apostle Paul told the Athenians, God is not far away. Listen, if you're not involved in a church, find one. Be a part of God's story right where you live. God is not far away.
Thank you for joining us for Church Road Trips.